Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Dave C. Straight from the Pit. It was a pretty nice, calm, uh, chilly night, and it's cold. It's about -10, but I thought I'd come out here in my backyard tonight and have a campfire with a few Joes. And these are some 1980s Arctic Joes. You got 1988 Blizzard, then 1985 Frostbite, of course, and 1990 Sub-Zero. Looks like Frostbite is kind of looking up the stars. Maybe he sees the Milky Way or, something like that. But yeah, anyway, this kind of reminds me of campfires we used to have in the summer all the time out here. My brother and I would have a lot of good talks about a lot of good life issues when we were growing up in our late teens to, mid-30s or even beyond. And yeah, I just really like coming out here sometimes. And just felt like bringing some Joes out here. So I think for this episode, we're going to do a 1983 CoverGirl and Wolverine review. And also talk about the diversity of G.I. Joe in the 1980s. So on the deck of the flag here, I've got a bunch of G.I. Joe figures from the 1980s that portray the diversity in G.I. Joe. And I think this is quite an important topic and one that I've wanted to do for a long time on my channel. And it should not be taken lightly because I think G.I. Joe did really good to representing ethnic groups, different ones, and representing females on the cartoon and in the comic, and all different nationalities and color, and it was kind of done before it was kind of a hip thing to do, we'll say. Like today, there's a lot of social justice, we'll call it, where maybe it's kind of forced, feels kind of forced, like in a lot of modern movies. I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree that some of the new modern movies, they seem to be more focused on certain characters and certain storylines having to be different things involving color and race and things like that. But back then, when the original writers of G.I. Joe did this toy line and did the cartoon and the comic, it didn't feel forced at all. It was quite natural, and it was quite innocent. And as kids growing up, we were exposed to all different groups, ethnic groups, and all different races. And all the characters had file cards with all their information on the back. And they came from all over the world. And they had all different colors and backstories from like different countries, speaking different languages, and all kinds of that stuff. In fact, as many of you know, my first three figures were Stalker, Scarlet, and Snake Eyes. And I really, really liked Scarlet because she was a girl, and there weren't that many females in any other toy lines at the time. And I liked how tough she was and resilient and just really smart. And my favorite was Stalker because of his camouflage and I just really liked how different he looked. And he was an Afro-American, and he was one of the very first figures, and he's kind of a really famous character. In the comic, he's very cool, and on the cartoon, he's a fan favorite. And Scarlet, she was a martial artist, and her backstory is very cool. I have a carded one here that we can flip around, and I can read her file card. I've never read her file card on this channel before. Counterintelligence, codename Scarlet. File name, Shauna Amohara. Primary military specialty, intelligence. Secondary military specialty, classified. Birthplace, Atlanta, Georgia. Grade, E5. Scarlet's father and 3 brothers were martial arts instructors. She began her training at age 9 and was awarded her first black belt at age 15. Graduated Advanced Infantry Training and Ranger School, Special Ed, Covert Ops Group, Marine Sniper School, Special Air Service School, Marine Taekwondo, Qualified Expert M14, M16, M19, 11A1, M79, M3A1, M700, Remington Sniper Rifle, MAC-10, XX-1 Power Crossbow, Throwing Stars, K-Bar. Scarlet is confident and resilient. It's remarkable that a person so deadly can still retain a sense of humor. So yeah, she was a force to be reckoned with, and one of the toughest G.I. Joe team members. So many people really like her in the comic, and on the cartoon is just portrayed as a very, very strong woman who is just pretty much unstoppable. I remember her back then in '82, seeing the red hair, and I thought it was just a great, great figure. Another great female character from G.I. Joe is the Baroness from 1984. She's my absolute favorite Cobra figure. On my channel before, I've done a review of her in a mint on card I have. And there it is there. But yeah, I just love her box art. And back then, I thought she was so cool. Another famous female Cobra is Zarana, that's Zartan's sister. And really, the list just goes on and on. It's kind of a hard video to do because they did such a great job in showing all different ethnic groups and just all different backgrounds to make this awesome team of military people, specialists that were just so important to fighting terrorism. There's Lady J, of course. And there's Tunnel Rat, who Larry Hama was kind of sculpted after. And of course, we know where Larry's from and what he did in Vietnam. So he's represented very well. And yeah, I don't want to make this video too long. I could read all their file cards and get more in depth. There's Quick Kick, and there's Storm Shadow, who of course is a very famous ninja who has an awesome backstory involving Snake Eyes. Lady J is an amazing female character. Major Blood's an Aussie from Australia. There's a Canadian, Backstop. Roadblock, of course, such a cool guy. William Refrigerator Perry, Alpine, 1985. Spirit, who's a Native American. He's a famous tracker on the Joe team. And he's awesome in the cartoon with Storm Shadow when he fights Storm Shadow. And just a really, really great character with his eagle freedom. There's another Native American that's airborne. And the G.I. Joe team's first medic from 1983, Doc. We've got CoverGirl, the driver of the Wolverine from 83. In a second, we're going to do a review on the 83 Wolverine as part of our diversity special. And there's Roadblock when he went up in outer space, 1993 figure. There's Storm Shadow 84, his original. Jinx, who's a female ninja. Torpedo, who's Hispanic. Then there's Zap, who's Hispanic. Just a great list of characters here. Red Dog, Stalker, of course, the newer one. Stretcher, who was a later medic. He was Afro-American. Another Native American, Bullhorn. A Brit, the guy from England. That's Big Ben. There's Zarana, like we mentioned earlier. Budo, who's a samurai. And Iceberg. He's from Texas, but he loves the cold. That was on his file card, I remember. He's an Arctic trooper. And I laid out some file cards too of these famous Joes. I hope you guys enjoyed the first part of this video. Now we're going to move on to CoverGirl, as shown here, who is the driver of the 1983 Wolverine. In March of 1983, I got this G.I. Joe vehicle. I was 8 years old and it was March break. And I remember my mom and dad got me it, and I really, really wanted it after seeing it in the store. And one of the main reasons was because I love the driver. And there she is there on the box art. It's CoverGirl, of course. And there she is in the bubble. So I thought we could do a review on this because she was the coolest female driver, for sure, in G.I. Joe. So it's got the old school 1982 to 1985 G.I. Joe block lettering on the front before it went three-dimensional in 1986. It says Real American Hero. It's got a price tag on it from self-service. And the regular price was $9.95, but this one was sold for $7.49, as you can see. And I believe these were one of the stores down in the US that was like a catalog store, kind of like Consumers Distributing up here in Canada, where you would fill out a card and then you could pick up your item. You fill out a card from looking in a catalog. As you can see there, it says catalog number. And this, of course, is Hector Greedo classic G.I. Joe art from the 1980s. It says Armored Missile Vehicle Wolverine. With removable missiles, you can elevate and swivel. Includes G.I. Joe figure, CoverGirl with swivel arm battle grip. Ages 5 and up. Some assembly required. No tools necessary. flipped it around here to look at the back of the box, and there's quite a bit going on. It says, Armored Missile Vehicle Wolverine, G.I. Joe, a real American hero. Modern Army Action Vehicle. The G.I. Joe Mobile Strike Force Armored Missile Vehicle, based on U.S. military's top secret weapons system. It's part of the new modern Army G.I. Joe collection of vehicles, weapons, and figures. Collect them all. Use it to help G.I. Joe protect democracy from the army of Cobra Command. And you can see that it's showing the prototype Wolverine, which is very similar to the actual one that you would get. But a lot of times on the backs of these boxes from the 1980s, they would be a little bit different. Some paint might be different, or even the way the plastic was constructed would be a little bit different. It says 12 removable Stinger missiles. Rocket launcher swivels 360 and elevates. All G.I. Joe figures can sit in command seat. There it is there. Engine cover removes to show engine detail. Sturdy construction for rugged play. And that's not a joke. These things were made really, really tough. And I remember playing outside with so many different vehicles in the winter, in the freezing cold, or in the summer, the hot, hot sun, or in the rain, or taking them in the bathtub, or all that stuff. And they held up, and they've stood the test of time as well, because obviously, I still have one here, and this is 40 years old now, this toy. So yes, for sure, when they say sturdy construction for rugged play, I would agree 100% with that. Super realistic detail. And like I've said in the past, they just remind me of models, of kind of like World War II model kits that you could get. All the little detail, like little shovels and sledgehammers and engine compartments that could be removed, and just so many cool things about these 80s toys. And there is CoverGirl on the back of the box. And as you can see, she does look a little bit different. Like if you look at her face there, and then you actually look at the actual figure here, it looks quite different than this. The name Courtney A. Krieger does not identify any known living person. Clip and save for G.I. Joe command files. Free rolling wheels. Actual size when assembled. Snap together assembly. No tools, no glue. There's the flag points. Safe for special G.I. Joe premiums. Proof of purchase. 3 points for this one. And proof of purchase on the bottom with the Hasbro logo. Detailed battle prints inside. These exciting blueprints explain fully how a real Wolverine would operate. Add them to your G.I. Joe command file. So those would be the blueprints that we all would save and kind of study. I used to study all the schematics back then, and I really, really enjoyed that part of G.I. Joe back then. All the guns and vehicles, how realistic they were. Contains body, chassis, 2 track assemblies, 4 wheels, rear panel, hood, tow cable, turret top, turret bottom, turret cap, missile launcher, 12 rockets, G.I. Joe figure, G.I. Joe folder, label sheet, instructions, and blueprints. And there's a file card, and it reads as follows. Wolverine driver, codename CoverGirl. File name, Courtney A. Krieger. Primary military specialty, armor. Secondary military specialty, AFV mechanics. Birthplace, Peoria, Illinois. Grade E4. CoverGirl was a high fashion model in Chicago and New York prior to enlistment. Grew disillusioned with modeling and enlisted to put new direction in her life. Attended armor school at Fort Knox and related tech schools. Proficient in diesel mechanics, gas turbine technology, qualified expert, law rocket, Dragon AT missile, M16, M19 11A1 auto pistol. CoverGirl finds that she must work against her beauty to prove herself. She is compelled to learn and master decidedly unfeminine disciplines. Her self-assurance and stunning good looks reduce most men to stuttering fools. So yeah, she's one tough cookie, and yeah, don't have to say anything more about her. She's definitely a fan favorite. So here's a close-up look at the figure, and she has a pretty good sculpt. She has like an Ike jacket, like a World War II American jacket with a shorter waist. She's got a nice shirt underneath with a collar. She's got like an armor patch on her jacket, on the arm there. I always remembered her boots as a kid. They're just really, really neat design. There they are there. She didn't come with any weapons. I remember that. But overall, just a really, really cool figure for 1983. And here she is inside the Wolverine. And there are the Stinger missiles. The 12 in total. It's got the Canadian decals, just like I had when I was a kid. It says Wolverine on it, on the front. Really, really fun vehicle. And mine, of course, is missing the tow cable, as you can see here, that is often missing. It goes all the way down here. I seem to be having problems today with the focus on my camera, but anyway, luckily the video is pretty much almost done, so the quality shouldn't suffer too much. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you watch some more upcoming G.I. Joe Straight from the Pit videos. I've been really, really busy with different things, including other hobbies, as well as just involvement with some government things. And yeah, so anyway, have a good day or night whenever you watch this, and we'll see you next time, guys. Okay, take care.